Hey guys, Omni here. We are back for episode 22 of the final season of Attack on Titan. Last episode was bonkers, and it's like every episode keeps just topping itself, I feel like. Eren, we got the backstory of Ymir, firstly, and we found out that, you know, she was conquered, she was a slave, she was put through all this stuff, and then even just kind of turned on by her own people, and then thrown out to the dogs to be hunted for fun. And she stumbles across this tree, the world tree, like this symbolism that just echoes through a lot of different cultures. And at the bottom and the base of this tree, she finds this entity. This entity finds her, this organism that attaches it to her, or to her spine specifically, and grants her the ability to transform into a Titan, becoming the very first Titan. And through that, because she's so powerful and amazing and all this, the king accepts her back. And he's like, haha, maybe I should keep you. You done good, kid. Now would you go slaughter my enemies for me? And this starts the whole thing with the Eldians versus Marley and all that stuff. And we even see, you know, the, I forget his name, the hero that they praised for being the one that took out Ymir, just being just this dude that just wasn't having it in that moment, just chucked a spear at the king, and Ymir jumped in front of it and took it. That's as much as it was. She died from that, protecting the king still, even though he was just like, what are you doing? You can't die. You got too much to do for me. Blah, blah, blah. I'm an asshole. The usual. And then he just takes that even further, chops her up in fear of losing his greatest weapon, chops her up, and feeds her body to their children, just in the blind hopes that that would pass on the power. I guess for his, thankfully for him, it does work, but gosh, the fact that that's how they kind of kept that in the family is just fucking vile. After Eren learns all this, we also learned that Ymir basically has been sending this message out to Eren into the future, hoping one day somebody with the Attack Titan might free her. And he's here, and he grabs her before she can execute Zeke's plan, still bound by the royal oath. And he's like, hey, you're your own person. Break free. Choose for yourself. And she does. And she chooses Eren, man. You see that look on her face, and you see it. The organism, we finally snap back to reality. And that fucking centipede thing just shoots out of Eren's corpse, attaches to his head. His eye does the twitch because it just comes back to life, and we see him call forth the rumbling because he's in contact with Zeke. And holy shit, the walls came down, and he is sending these things on a massive murder spree. Because as we found out at the end, he's gonna wipe the world clean. And I can't blame him the way things are going. Marley's already trying to turn the entire world against the Titans and the Eldians, and for what we know, all of the world already fears the Eldians. So even if there's not like an active like uprising or push against them now, maybe they're not in active warfare like Marley is, there's a fear. And even if there was a targeted strike, like, it's either all or nothing. If he doesn't burn the world, somebody will be alive, the cycle will continue, and we get this cycle of violence still. Am I saying this is the right path? Not at all. I'm sure there's a third option. You know, to bring the world together, there's to end this cycle of violence, to end this discrimination, this witch hunt in the name of peace. How you achieve that, I don't know. Marley clearly doesn't want that. They're on an active campaign to wipe them all out. And we still don't know how all the other countries are going to respond. We just assume that maybe that they're a threat at this point. And that all just depends on how they get swayed. And it could go either way. But Eren doesn't want to risk that. Based on what he's seen through the cycle of violence, through what he's seen through his life, his options are, in order to save his people right now, in his head, either I just take out Marley, and the rest of the world is just their fear of us increases. Eventually, somebody's going to rise up. Somebody's going to be afraid. Somebody's going to snap back. Somebody's going to lash out and start this whole thing up again. Or I can just burn it all to the ground. Because no matter what, as long as somebody's alive that is fearful, disdainful, or feels threatened by the Eldians, there is a threat to his people. But I don't know, man. I was all on board for just straight revenge, but like he took it one step further, because there's plenty of innocents out there that have nothing to do with any of this, that are just going to get trampled on for nothing. But, you know, like I said, if he kills someone, if somebody's grandpa gets killed who's in the military, who's fighting this stuff, and you're Joe Schmo over here just hanging out, and suddenly half your family gets obliterated just because you're related to him, you're like, oh my God, now you've got an enemy. It's just like you create your own villains, depending on how you respond to these sorts of things. So I don't know. Maybe this turns into the Eldians like, we're not with this guy. We're not on board with this, just so you know. And this becomes like a unification of the world against one enemy. And maybe he's becoming this massive evil to end. Maybe I'm being extremely hopeful. Maybe he's doing this self-sacrificially in order to save everything by becoming the world's villain. Not just the villain of Marley, not just the villain of those off the island, but even going so far as way to break faith with the people that have been following him all this time, to break faith with his own people. I don't know. But we'll just have to find out and see, because holy shit, he's a giant, massive bone centipede, and he's heading towards Marley with an army of colossal titans. Let's see where this thing goes, guys. But if you want to see the full-length reaction to this episode, you can check it out over on Patreon, or if you become a member on the channel, it gets you access as well. It gets you the full-length reaction to this episode and all the other ones. You just sync up your own footage with the time code, and you can see my reaction to the entire thing. Along with the reactions for this, you can also see the full-length ones for all the other shows we cover, as well as a bunch of movie watch-alongs that are exclusively over there. And at the start of each month, we take your suggestions, and then at the middle of the month, you all vote on what movie we add to that list at the end of each month, as well as monthly Q&As, behind-the-scenes footage. I'm trying to make it worth your while, since you guys are going out of your way to support the channel, and I really do appreciate it. It really does help. You know, we've got some help with some of the videos. I do have like a part-time editor here and there, as well as, you know, trying my best to improve the quality of these videos, and it's you guys that have really been helping that out. But of course, I know not everybody can do that, and a simple way you can support the channel is just by liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing these videos, and just helping us out with our YouTube algorithm. That's said and down the way, guys, though. Let's go ahead and jump into this episode. Here we go. The full version of the song finally came out. Some of you guys let me know it was coming out the next day after the episode dropped, and I just got it today, and oh, the whole thing, it's such a jam, man. I love it. Thaw, episode 81.
変な場所に大丈夫かいレオンハートさん聞いたかあの島から巨人が俺たちを殺しに来るってファルコどこ初めて巨人化した直後は記憶も飛びすぐには動けない連れ去られたんだ誰になんでジャンとコニーだろうファルコほど重要な存在をライダー力が残ってないのなぜか鎧が剥がれ壁阻止できなかったエレンに世界は滅ぼされる
Man, Ryder's one of my favorite characters, dude.
南に撤退時の飛行船がある早く知らせるんだマーレに知らせてどうなるのどこに逃げるのお父さんもお母さんもカリナおばさんもみんな死んじゃうんでしょそうだエレンを殺して止めないと無理だ 始祖の巨人は全ての巨人やユミルの民を意のままに操ることができる。
It's so fucked. Oh.
俺たちはただ逃げることしかできない。
I mean, best thing you can do is just stay on the island.
諦めてたまるか。待ってろよ、ファルコ。
まさか壁外人類を皆殺しにするつもりとは思わなかった。奴らが消え去れば。
He said it, man. He said it at the end of season 3, didn't he?
海の外の連中が一番恐れていたことが起きちまう。悪魔だと決めつけて皆殺しにしようとしたばかりに外の連中が招いた結果であって。
Yeah.
いなかった。そうだろう。
これは度が過ぎている。前代未聞の大虐殺だ。
じゃあ止めるか。エレンを安楽死計画で俺たちを虚勢しようとするジークを拒み、その力を維持するためヒストリアを犠牲にすることを拒んだ。俺たちを守るために壁外人類を犠牲にした。手を受けるのは俺たちだ。
お前らが大事だからだ。
It does all come back to that, doesn't it?
巨人が兵士と戦っている。マレヘを食い。
Wait, what?
エレンは始祖を掌握したなら巨人も全て制御できるはずじゃ。
だが仲間を食ってるだろう。
What the fuck?
その子をどうするの？
おそらくこいつはアギトの巨人を継承した。巨人化させられた誰かに食わせれば一人救える。
That is also true.
ピクシス司令。
いや母ちゃんだ。ラガコ村の母ちゃんに食わせる。
Oh, come on. Oh my god, they're fighting over who to feed Falco to.
彼らと親しいその子を僕たちが殺すとなればライナーや車力の巨人と新たな争いを生むことになる。もうマーレが
He's trying to stop this cycle, man. I'm all in on Armin, man.
俺の母ちゃんはどうでもいいってことか。
そういうわけじゃ。
俺がどう思ってあの母ちゃんがいる村に帰り続けたか。お前だってベルトルト食ったから蘇ったんだろうが。母ちゃん生き返らせるの止めんなよ。
Oh! Oh no, god damn it, people.
この島に金はもうねえんだぞ。
ジークが生み出した巨人、どうしてジークは巨人を制してないの？
Oh god. Oh. Oh fuck. Oh shit. And that's the guy that saved Falco too. Oh wow, Gabby! Holy shit! Oh god damn it.
お前は戦士隊と逃げたと聞いたが。
捕まったファルコを助けに来た。
あんたたち無事なのか。その巨人を殺したのか。一体なんだ。その子がやったのか。まさかマーレから侵入者たちか。
違います。私たちは厩舎で一緒に暮らす家族です。かや。
巨人を殺したのは俺です。
そげなこつより私たちを安全なところまで連れて行ってください。助けてよ兵士さん。ここたちを。
レンを連れて逃げなさい。それまで私たちと一緒におとなしくしてるんよ。
はい。
Oh, god damn it.
なんで私をかばったの？なんで私を助けたの？それも命がけであなたを殺そうとした。私悪魔なんでしょ？悪魔は私。私は人を何人も殺した。それが私の悪魔。
そいつは俺の中にもいる。カヤの中にもみんなの中に悪魔がいるから世界はこうなっちまったんだ。
じゃあどうすればいいの？
森から出るんだ。出られなくても出ようとし続けるんだ。
対峙した際はただ腰を抜かしていろと。
Dude.
私に
Hell yeah, man.
生き残りたい者がいるならな。シャディス教か。
Man, Yelena's gone. And this music is so good too. I am a little befuddled as to why these normal Titans are just running a rampage. Why Eren didn't control them. Maybe he can't control Zeke's Titans, but Zeke's not alive to control them himself. Dude. This is so badass. Man, I've missed some good old-fashioned ODM fighting, man. Aww. Can normal Titans even be turned back? I wonder. Like, could Eren turn them back? Could Zeke even turn them back? Or is it permanent once they've changed? I know without intervention, they have to eat an intelligent Titan in order to revert. But, like, couldn't the founder maybe do it? It doesn't matter now. Damn. Dude, Shadi's getting some fucking... getting a spotlight, dude. Oh. Dude, Annie's still out here sleeping through all of this shit, man. Oh, that's a good shot. I like that.
火もだいぶ収まってきた。ひとまずここは安全だ。
今何をしている？
見ての通りだ。
俺の故郷もダメなのか。ブロック、大丈夫か？
俺が壁の崩壊で死にかけてる間、
生きてたか？
心配してくれてありがとう。だがくたばるわけにはいかねえだろう。エルディア帝国が復活するって瞬間なのに。イエレナ、義勇兵を集めろ。全員拘束する。
なんだと？
ご無事で何よりです、ブラウスさん。
Flock, man.
しかしこの状況で呼び出してすまない。
君はなぜここに？
信じて。もう争う気はないの。ファルコを返してほしいだけ。
Oh, well, fucking Connie's got him. God damn it, man.
ファルコはどこ？巨人の母親に食べさせるためにさらわれたって。
唯一動けない体だったためにそのまま4年間コニーはお母さんの様子を見守り続けた。
Oh, God.
ごめんなさい。ファルコを諦められない。ねえ、エレン・イェーガーならコニーのお母さんを人にも。
That's what I was saying earlier.
巨人は
はここでジークに巨人にされた兵士たちを人に戻してたと思う。
わからないなら頼んでみてよ、エレンに。そんなことしなくたっていいじゃない。世界中の軍事施設を攻撃するだけじゃダメなのって。ライナーの鎧だって剥がしたんだから、できるはずなのに。
鎧の巨人の硬質化が解かれたのはいつ、どのタイミングで？
壁の崩壊と同時に。
Annie.
アルミン、
エレンは言った。全ての硬質化が解かれるって。
Oh, shit. I was just talking about that too. Dude, oh, fuck, man, this is just insane. A lot of questions, man. And I'm glad that they acknowledge a lot of the questions that I was actually bringing up. One, why can't Eren control the Titans that are just roaming around? Is he choosing not to, or can he not? Other thing, can he not just turn them back? If he could, why isn't he? It definitely all opposes his mission statement. Unless it's what I've been saying, or at least been hoping for, and that he's doing that as well to force his own people against him. And it could be one way to bring world peace is to unify against a common enemy. Could be the play he's making. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm glad to see that they're thinking about the same things I am. Connie, though, this whole Connie thing, with him going back to visit his mom all these years, because she's obviously, when she turned into a Titan, she couldn't move. She was one of the few that just was incapable of moving because of the deformity. So he snatched up Falco, and he's going to just feed Falco to his mom to get his mom back. Armin, though. Armin's like the only one, like, chilling, trying to figure it all out. I'm on Team Armin right now, man. That's where I'm at. Team Armin. Team Armin. We're changing teams. We're on Team Armin at the moment, man. Gabby, though, coming in clutch. I really, I'm sure most of us started off being like, Gabby, shut the fuck up. Most of us. And she had, like, this turnaround. She was going down the path of becoming Eren 2.0. And thankfully, through this expansion, this integration, this trekking through enemy lands, she's opened up to both sides. She's opened up. She's seen her brainwashing. She's seen her indoctrination. She's seen the people she's been labeling as an enemy as for what they are. And even like we had Kaya, who, obviously blames her for taking her sister away and wanted to get revenge herself. Gabby coming back to save them in that moment was fucking epic, dude. It was awesome. That was great. And then Kaya taking that to stand up for her, and just her looking up and seeing Sasha in Gabby, even though Gabby's the one that killed Sasha. She's stepping into those shoes. Like, she didn't know what she was doing. She was just doing what she was told, what she thought was right. And, they even talked about that earlier in this episode at one point. I forget actually who brought it up. They were like, you were just following orders. I know. I get it. Whatever. I was like, that's your excuse. And that's what it came down to, man. She was brainwashed just as much as anybody else. And I like that one thing that Colt mentioned. He was like, we all have devils in us. Like, it's not just us. It's just everybody. Everybody's got that thirst for hunger, for survival, for superiority. Everybody's got that dark side. Everybody's got a little bit of the devil in them. I don't know if he was speaking purely for the Eldians in that moment because they are Eldians just in Marley, or if he's just speaking about humanity in general. Because I feel like that's a very human trait. And I love how also they're just flashing back to all these little hints, all these little moments, especially within season 3, that were setting up the path Eren was going to take. Like that cart ride when they were talking about how he would eventually have to pass on the Titan and who would he pass it on to. And then when they got to the ocean and he was like, if we kill everybody over there, will we finally be free? All of this is for the people he loves. So it seems. It is the extreme. But like I also mentioned earlier, you know, if he goes with a half measure, there's an extremely strong chance that it only protects them for now, and they'll be faced with retaliation eventually, because that's how the cycle of revenge continues. You leave somebody alive, that person clings to life wanting their revenge. You kill somebody close to somebody else, that person they were connected to will want revenge. It's one of the few things is like I think it was like what I'm sure it's probably from something else, but immediately calls back to Harley Quinn season 1, I think, where she hesitates and lets this child live after the I forget her name, the woman with the fairy tale book slaughters this entire family, and she tells Harley to make sure there's no stragglers, because you never leave a legacy behind. They'll come up to bite you in the ass later. You got to take them all out. And what happens? A person that Harley spared out of sympathy, out of empathy, came back, bite them in the ass later. And it's kind of what happens, man. It's just human nature in most ways. It's really hard to forgive and forget and move past that, to understand why it happened in the first place, you know. But two wrongs never make a right. You know, there's always the third option. If everybody, the hardest part about humans is to let go of your own rage, to let go of your own selfishness, to let go of your own pride and your survival, because it's just built into our DNA to, at whatever cost, you know, fight to live. And sometimes that means, you know, being what Eren has become, man. And it's just kind of, it's that part of us that allows us our higher thinking, that allows us to examine, analyze, and become self-aware of our instincts and our desires, to push past them. And you can't always trust everybody to do that. And it's extremely hard, especially if there's been a great wrong done to you or your people or someone close to you, to let it go and take the higher road and see how can we prevent this from happening again, rather than lashing out. Because our instinctual reaction is to lash out. And even on social media, man, that's mostly people's reactions to even just menial shit. So like, I love what this show, like, it's an analysis of human nature in a lot of ways. And you know, I think it started off, especially in the early part of season 4, focusing a lot about tribalism, about how far will you justify the actions of the people you know. Like, how far will you go just because they're the ones you've been following the whole time? And we're seeing the other perspective, the people on the other side that are being hurt by it. You don't really think about that when you're watching Star Wars a lot of the time. You don't be like, oh man, fuck. You're most of the time you're like, fuck those stormtroopers. But you're never like, you know, that guy, for all we knew, got forced into the Empire, doesn't want to do this. We saw it with Finn even in sequels, like, even though they didn't explore that very well after the first film, that it was, you know, we don't think about why they're doing it, why they're there. They're just feeding their families. The Empire is basically in control. Anything opposing that, you're kind of just like fled into it. How many people that were Imperial, maybe even contracted, died on the Empire when the rebels attacked? You don't think about that, because at the moment you're like rooting for the heroes because they're the ones you're following. They're your point of view. And the show played with that right now, and now they're playing with it by shifting everything around. And now it's just this big old gray sludge where it's really challenging you to think about what is the right path. I don't think Eren's on the right path, but I also can't blame him for making the conclusion that he's made. His worldview, his point of view, his life experiences, and the options that are before him don't really leave him with very many other choices if his main goal is to preserve the lives of his people. It all comes down to if that third road is a possibility, because right now it's fail and his people die, or succeed and his people live. That's it. Right now, those are the only two options for Eren. It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up, man. It is. But it's good fucking TV, I'll tell you that. Guys, what'd you think of the episode? Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Feel free to join our Discord. We could talk about it there as well. If you want to see the full-length reaction, check it out over on Patreon, or if you become a member of the channel, gets you access as well. And speaking of, before you go, I want to shout out our channel legends: Manny Sherritt, Ryan Karen, Jason Coleman, Philly Vane, Yorick Korskov, Margaret Grace, Mary Bradley, Nate Proudy, Emo Slytherin, and Melita. Thank you guys so much for your support. And I will see you guys next week with the next episode of Attack on Titan. Take care, everybody.